What's up guys, 𝗙𝗙𝗟𝗡𝗪 here, and today I'm going to show you 5 reasons why the new iPad Pro 2021 is bad for gaming. Reason number 1 is unsupported items in games. I mean, yes, the iPad Pro just came out, and yes, we might have to wait a couple weeks for updates to roll out for supported features such as 120 frames per second and etc. The fact that COD Mobile supports 120 frames per second on the 2018, the 2020, but not the 2021 iPad is simply insane. Speaking on not at its full potential, this is PUBG Mobile settings. The iPad Pro 2021 12.9 inch with an M1 chip can go only on 90 FPS on smooth graphics. This is a mockery of the M1 chip, and it could do way better. It can't even go on balance in 90 FPS. The iPad Pro 2021 12.9 with its beautiful screen is forced to go on diminished graphics only because the games don't support it yet. The last reason why the iPad Pro really isn't bad for gaming, well, it might not be the 11 inch, but for the 12.9 inch I've noticed that it's pretty hefty. I mean, the weight is not too much, but it's not light. To hold it like this with claw is really hard sometimes. You really notice the weight after a while, and it's kind of thick, so it makes sense that it has an M1 chip in it. In my biased opinion, after 1 week of owning this thing, to keep it brief and honest with you, yes, it will definitely worth the upgrade. Even if you're coming from a 2020 iPad Pro, this thing is an absolute beast. The performance is such a jump from last year's model, it's insane. And I'm coming from the iPad Air 2, so that's years older than any iPad Pro. So this is actually the first iPad Pro I've ever owned, and I'm definitely not disappointed. I've owned Macs before, and seeing that this performance was close to it is insane. The ProMotion display, it's astonishing at first, and you never really get used to, and you're never going to stop smiling once you buy this. Yes, it is a big investment. I did spend $1,500 on this, but no, I don't regret it. It is a pro device, and it does pro things. Everything is to a different level on the iPad Pro, and I can't give you an honest opinion on the 11 inch. If you're wondering if you should buy the 11 inch, I'm not the person to ask. I've never used an 11 inch, but the 12.9 inch is honestly the closest you'll ever get to a tablet laptop hybrid. The keyboard is the exact size as a full keyboard off the MacBook Airs and Pros. If you're coming from a laptop, you won't feel, disconnected from home. The iPad Pro definitely feels close to the MacBooks and even other laptops. If you're wondering about the gaming review, yes, it does take a long time to get used to it. I definitely am still in the process of learning sensitivity, gyro, and other stuff like that. Even my finger placement is awkward. 12.9 inches is a huge screen to be playing mobile games with your fingers on. I mean, yes, playing with a controller would be infinitely easier, but people like claw players, it's a struggle. And not having full support on games such as COD Mobile is weird because it's a new device, it has a huge power output, but it can't be put to those limits. It's unjarring knowing that we have to wait a little bit in order to see those performance if we ever do, because there's currently no news from any of those organizations that they are dropping any updates soon, but we never know. The weight is not too much to handle. I have been using claw for years, so I'm used to holding an iPad, but it's not something light. It does hurt your hands after a while, and sometimes you do have to place it on like a desk or something, so definitely make sure if you're building a desk or don't have a desk, make sure you do have one, because sitting up straight and playing on a desk is so much easier than playing on a bed. The iPad Pro is not at its best limits right now. If you're wondering whether to buy the 12.9 inch Wi-Fi plus cellular iPad Pro 2021, yes, it is a long investment. We do have to wait for those updates to come out, but in the long run, and even in the meantime, you'll still see the performance upgrade from even the last year's model. If you're wondering if you should make an upgrade or you've never had an iPad before, this is definitely the iPad for you. Alright guys, so this has been all the reasons why I kind of dislike the iPad Pro 12.9 inch for gaming at the moment. Yet again, take it with a grain of salt guys. Updates are still rolling out, and this can get way better. I do see a high potential for this iPad in the future, and I definitely think it will be a beast in the coming weeks. So don't give up guys. Please, if you really want it, I would suggest still buy it.